Back in November 2010, Hunter Grissom came to the home of Tracey, his ex-wife. He raped her, he sodomized her, and he beat her. He dragged her across the floor. He tied her legs, ankles with a belt, dragged her across the floor, children downstairs. He had a gun with him at the time, loaded. He loaded it in front of the children and went back upstairs with a loaded gun. He raped her, sodomized her, beat her till she was unconscious. She awoke from the unconsciousness, her hair matted with her own blood, her having been raped, having had all the torment and the torture that had just been inflicted on her. She gets back downstairs. She calls a friend. The friend calls the police. That's the first time that we, all of us, found out the torment that this lady had been going through for years. Because you see, it wasn't the first time that she'd been raped. It wasn't the first time she'd been beaten. This was multiple times. Years of spousal abuse that she had been inflicted, that had been inflicted on her. What I would like to say to anybody listening, if you're suffering from spousal abuse, don't put up with that. There are shelters in this state. There are places that will help you. If Tracey had done that, we wouldn't have had to have ended in this tragic situation that we have today. And this is an unfortunate and tragic conclusion to something that she's been having to put up with for years.
What do you say? What are you saying? How does that amount to the charges that she's facing?
The day that Tracey, I think it goes without saying, Tracey went there to take a picture. And when we end up showing you our case, and our case is still developing, but when you end up seeing the evidence, you'll find that the rape that took place a year and a half earlier, and the previous rapes to that, and the beatings that took place previous to that, all of those things are factors in the event that took place on May the 15th.
The witness you called today just testified that he saw her shooting as Mr. Hunter turned his back, and she continued to shoot. How is that going to play out in your case of the rapes that happened 7 months prior?
Well, I haven't been raped. I've never been raped before, and I don't know the trauma that would go with that. I can only imagine what effect that would have on me if I were female and I were raped and I were beaten continuously as she had been.
Why didn't she shoot him then?
Well, I don't know. That's something that we'll have to look at down the road. I don't have a comment on that.
Why did she feel the need to have a gun there in the first place?
He had threatened to kill her numerous times. Before the rape that was actually reported, Hunter Grissom had threatened to kill her. She felt she was compelled to have a gun. Her friends kept telling her, "You need to have a gun." For a long time, the reason she didn't turn him in for the abuse, for the beatings, and for the rapes is because he threatened to kill her. He told her he would kill her. He told her he would kill other people that were involved with her. This was particularly after the divorce.
His attorneys that were representing him for those particular charges.
I'm sorry, what was
his attorneys that were representing him for those particular charges have said that he had no contact with her since the divorce up until that day when he was able to shoot.
I don't have any comment on that.
Are you is your plea not guilty by temporary insanity?
We haven't entered it yet, and you'll see it. It'll be public record when we do. Any other questions?
How do we spell your first and last name? We'll make sure.
It's W-A-R-E-N, and then Freeman, just like free man. Okay, thank y'all.